meet you, Mr. Len Walker.
Thank you.
So you've been a representative here at Georgia House of Representatives from 1995 to 2011.
Yes.
It's great. And you were the higher education chair in the House for 4 years until you retired in 2014.
That's correct.
Wow.
In 2011, at the conclusion of the 2011 session.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since you were the chair of the Higher Education Committee during the years that GGC was just starting out, what impressed you about this college?
You know, I think the thing that impressed me most about Georgia Gwinnett College was the leadership, especially in those early days when I think the first time I met Dan Kaufman. I was so impressed with his energy and his vision and his direction for this school. I remember being at a meeting and he sharing with us what the plans were in the years ahead, and I was thinking to myself, now if that were to come to fruition, that would be something for Georgia and Gwinnett County, and sure enough, the vision has been realized here, and I suppose it continues. But not only Dan, but other leaders here at Georgia Gwinnett College, I was impressed by their direction and their vision and their energy.
Have you met the president, Stosh?
I have not.
You haven't?
I have not.
He's a great leader here
I
at
know
the college.
he is. I know he is.
So GGC opened and then a major recession hit the nation. You and your colleagues from Gwinnett could secure funding for the college. How did you manage that?
Well, as far as I can remember, we made the case for funding for GGC, but this college spoke for itself. What was happening here, the kind of success that it was realizing, the need for higher education here in Gwinnett County, a place like this, that sold itself. We didn't really have to sell this place. Dr. Kaufman and others had already done that for us. And so people saw that and they responded, my colleagues in the legislature. Yeah.
So do you think GGC is leading the way to change higher education over the next years to come?
I believe so, just for one reason, because of its accessibility. It enables, I think, a student in some cases to, after they get out of high school, to have a part-time job and then easily commute over here, or however their schedule might work, to make it more accessible, to make it more convenient. And it's a great place to come, and I think, like I said earlier, it sells itself. And we all know that throughout the state of Georgia, where there are centers of higher education, the economy mirrors that. If you've got great technical colleges, if you have great colleges and universities in an area, businesses, industry flow to that place. And we've seen that all over the state.
So you have a great impact in Gwinnett County. So what was Gwinnett County like about 30 years ago?
Well, number one, there was a whole lot of less traffic back then. It's a busy place today. It's grown exponentially. Of course, population has grown tremendously. And there are a lot of great things happening in Gwinnett. Good leadership on the county level, as it was 30 years ago. There were some visionaries even then. I can think of Wayne Hill, who was the chairman of the county commission at that time, and some others that I knew through the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce, who had great dreams for Gwinnett County. And through hard work and perseverance, many of those dreams have been realized, and there are some other dreams to be realized in the days ahead.
So Gwinnett County is one of the most up-and-coming counties in Georgia, definitely.
Oh, definitely. I saw a report not too long ago that within the next, I don't know how many years, not many years, Gwinnett County is going to be the most populated county in the state of Georgia.
So what's one thing that you personally are excited for the future for Gwinnett County?
Well, I don't live in Gwinnett County. Well, I have some children and grandchildren that live just across the county line in Walton County, and so I think the thing that excites me the most are the many opportunities that our young people have to not only grow up in Gwinnett County, but to stay in Gwinnett County. With the employment picture as it is, and the leadership that is in place in Gwinnett County, that is all very positive.
All right, so how did you get into your career, especially to become a representative for Georgia?
Well, I became interested in the local political climate there in Walton County at the time. I became involved with the county party, began to meet a few people. Of course, at that time, the county party, we could all fit in a telephone booth at that time. But I had a good friend in Kentucky I went to college with who was a state senator. I had some conversations with him, tried to get some counsel about how to enter the political arena. And then in May of 1994, I jumped in, had some good supporters, had no idea what I was doing or what I was getting into, but learned along the way. Ran a campaign that was face-to-face contact with the voters. I didn't have a lot of money to spend in a campaign, but there was one thing I was willing to do, and that was to go around my district and knock on doors and meet people face to face. And that paid off.
Yeah.
And so in 1994 was, for me and for many Republicans in the state of Georgia, was a great year to run. We were being led by Newt Gingrich.
Okay.
And there were a lot of changes that were taking place, and so it was the right time and the right place. Yeah.
And what is one of the most valuable lessons you learned during your representation?
One of the most valuable lessons I learned was that whatever happens in the chamber of the House of Representatives, whether it's something that you agree with or something you disagree with, don't take anything personally. I had a lot of friends on both sides of the aisle, and when the day is over, you have to walk out and remain friends, because there's another day coming.
Right.
And you need to have that kind of relationship, I believe, to be successful, whether it's in Atlanta, whether it's in Washington, D.C. Just don't take anything personal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about something along the lines of, like, what is the biggest, maybe challenging opportunity for Gwinnett County moving forward?
So even though Gwinnett County is moving right ahead, there are some challenges that are going to come up. So what do you think one of the biggest ones would be? And how do you think a college like Georgia Gwinnett and any other higher education colleges can impact those challenges that Gwinnett faces?
Well, I think in the area of education, the key is in the lower grades, and when children are first starting off, to have the educational opportunities and the quality of education that is so important as they grow and as they age, to get to the place where they want to come to a college like Gwinnett, Georgia Gwinnett College. However, I believe that the greatest challenge for Gwinnett County, no doubt about it, is transportation. Transportation can be your lifeblood and can be the greatest asset that you have in an area. It can also be a killer.
Right.
And it can suffocate economic development. And by suffocating economic development, that flows down to the educational opportunities that people have in a county like this. And so I'm glad I'm not sitting on the Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners right now, because they have some tough decisions to make. I believe that they're going to move courageously, I believe that they're going to be visionary in that, but the transportation issues must be addressed. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good,
Thank you so
good.
much for your time.
Thank you.